The weather is finally clearing up. I got up at 7:30 this morning because I want to get an early start on this car, and it is completely downpouring all the way until about right now. It's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's finally chilled out, so now we can start on this thing. We should have this out of here pretty quickly today due to the fact that the head's already been off and majority of the harness and stuff is already out of the way. It's just going to be the bottom half of the harness, the front end here, the drive shaft, the 2 axles, and the shift linkage. And then after that, everything is already pretty much off of the engine. And then once it's out, we can go ahead and strip all the accessories off of this block and use it on the 2.8. So first things first, we remove the front end here. So we have the AC lines top and bottom, the hood latch cable, this connector right here for your front and the headlight harness there. I think the coolant lines, the bottom ones are already off. This one's still on. I gotta figure out how these intercooler piping lines run. I think this one will pull straight out, but this one actually goes through this hole here, so I might have to disconnect that one from down here first and then pull that through. I gotta see how that's routed, but other than that, it should be fairly straightforward.
Never ever find the right words, and there's no way this is real life. There's no telling you're the right girl, so I can only say that it feels right. It feels right, it feels right. Yeah, I can only say that it feels right. It feels right, it feels right. Yeah, I can only say that it feels right. Going with the gut, never had a doubt, felt like this is just a must. Put me in perspective, I'm the deepest in the cut. Everybody tuning in, but this is just for us now. We know I ain't ballin' yet, hoes wanna holler, oh no, I don't call them back. Girl, let me see you hold it down, we gon' have a blast. Cause I just wanna know what you gonna do with all of that. Ain't gotta say a word, I know what's up, you can have it all. Watch me whip it up, I'll admit it, you got me feeling hella loved. Even when it's going down, know that we gon' live it up. Young shot caller, always been a baller. Know that you the one, I can feel it in my heart. Yeah, I won't stop charging, we go and come harder. I can see you and I, way beyond the stars, girl. I can never ever find the right words, and there's no way this is real life. There's no telling you're the right girl, so I can only say that it feels right.
So the front end is off, as you can see. A little different with the intercooler piping. This one kind of just stayed here, but this one was kind of like wrapped under this bottom corner here where the AC line goes through. So once we got that out of the way, the whole thing came off, and now it's just a matter of going around, like I said before, many times before, just make sure everything from the block, well, the chassis of the car is off the engine. So we have the lower harness down here, the shift linkage, axles, drive shaft, and that's pretty much it. I mean, we already did the majority of the work, so not bad. Once everything's off, we can lift it up, pull the cross member out, and slide the entire thing on out of here. So I was in the process of getting all this wiring through here out, and I bumped the hose for the power steering reservoir and it went everywhere. I was trying so hard not to make a mess, and now it's on my shoe, it's down my jeans, it's on my new gloves. Not happy. But once this line is out of the way, and then the hard line to the power steering reservoir, this section's done. All of this harness is out of the way. I just have this one for the battery ground. the 2 bolts hold on the shift linkage, and I think after that we're almost there. Our axles are already done, and then it will be the drive shaft, and we can lift it up and then undo our mounts. Dang it. So there, everything at this point is off. The only thing we have left to do is the bolts. I believe it's just the 3 that go from the drive shaft in to the flange on the diff. Once those are disconnected, we can lift it up, undo the mounts, and pull it out. It's just giving us a little bit of trouble. It's kind of an awkward spot to get to, so hopefully with the car up a little higher, he's gonna go underneath the car. We'll see if we can't get into brake free, because once those are off, I mean, the axles are done. Actually, we put 1 bolt in each axle back in to keep it from rotating, but the axles are basically off. Everything else is out of the way. Linkage is off, the brake line to the slave cylinder is off, all of this is out of the way, so it's just one more thing. Oh, the poor driveway is looking quite the mess. Steve actually had to leave. He's borrowing someone's car right now because obviously this car is not running and this Corvette's not registered just yet, so they needed the car back, so we had to leave. But no big deal. I pulled multiple engines on my own and we're actually at that point. So now it's just get the strap on it, lift it up, undo my mount, and we can go ahead and back it on out. And I'm gonna go ahead and strip the trans off it and get all of the accessories off of this one down to just a bare block. You can see the engine is now being suspended. We have 2, 3, 4, 5 bolts left, and she is ready to come out. I had to use the rear mount back here and the front mount here lifted up because the head and the mounting points aren't there, but still plenty sturdy enough. Whew, almost there. All right, we are down to our final one in the center. These are all off. Will it break free with this? I'm about to use the breaker bar, we'll see. Any extension. Oh goodness. I've pulled way too many engines in the past month. There you go. There that goes. Bam. All right. Set you out of the way. Pull this. That is gone. And now this should be up. All right, cool. Let's get this bolt out of the way here. Or just kind of set it off to the side. Please get off there. Thank you. Okay, out of the way. All right. What's holding you? I think she's moving. All right, we are off of the drive shaft. Nice. I go up a little bit. They were caught on that back right mount over here, the trans mount. There it is. I gotta watch these hoses here as I pull out. Are you off that? What's sitting over here? Something's touching on this side. Oh, there she goes. We got her. Coolant goes everywhere, but we got her. There it is. Definitely not the most even way to hold the engine, but hey, it is what it is. She's fine. All right, let me get these hoses untangled right here, because those are staying with the engine, or the car at least. Oh, I missed one plug back here too. That could be bad. That's off. This is off. Out of the way. Let me make sure, oh, we gotta go over this intercooler piping here. That should be enough for there, I think. A little more. There we go, boys. Another engine pulled. Another VR pulled. Not bad. So you can see the so this is the, I'm not sure this is the O2A trans because it's the all-wheel drive trans. It has the the diff here. So I'm not sure what the name of this trans is, but there you go. Our first Synchro Mark III VR6 engine pull. Not bad. All this stuff can just stay. Whew, we got her. So before we go any further with this, I have a giant mess to go ahead and sort through because it's driving me insane. So I'm going to clean up all this stuff and then I'll tackle that. The driveway is looking much better now. When there's like a crazy amount of clutter, it starts to drive me insane. So I had to go through and just do some cleaning, and now we're going to go. So now onto this thing here. I want to separate the trans from the block with the trans little dolly here, and then everything else off of the block besides like the crank, the piston, that kind of stuff, is coming off. So crack pipe, AC, accessory bracket, everything else needs to come off the block. So for the trans, we have one, I think the starter bolt goes through, I think. Maybe not this one, but I know this one goes through to that side. There's one there. We have this bolt that holds the mount on, this one, this one. We have no more over here. We have one on the back side there, and then we have the mounts for the actual diff brace, which if your car's front wheel drive, you won't have this. For this car, we do. All right, so if I didn't miss any bolts, the trans should now be ready to come off. There's a tire under the block, so it shouldn't be able to fall. So I hope it doesn't fall. You can see it making a gap. Go ahead and just slowly pry her apart here. Nice and easy. Look at that. I think I got them all. I think I have to actually lift the engine up just a little bit, because I think it's resting on the flywheel right here. Maybe not. Oh, we're catching the flange on here. I need to pull these two off. What are those, 17s? Let's see. Yeah, I pulled these ones off, but it's catching on the flange there. Not a problem though. These will come off nicely. One. All right. Now we should have it. Yes, give me this. Rotate. Yes. Yes. Great success. All right, one thing down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pan. I think the pump. Probably the pump. Chains. We're almost there. Kind of, sort of, not really, but almost there. So looking at this trans here, it looks to be exactly the same as the VR6 O2A, unless it's different, but it looks almost exactly the same. Only thing they did is took the flange off of right here and put the diff in and put the flange there for shorter axles in the front on these cars. So I mean, like in the Mark IVs, you have the O2J trans, and there's one other one, but those are all front-wheel drive trans, and they have the O2M, a full different trans that is for the all-wheel drive cars. But it looks like if you had an O2A, like front-wheel drive VR6, you might just need the diff here to pull your flange off of right there, bolt in the diff. I mean, you still need the drive shaft and the whole rear end section of the car, but you might not need a whole entire new trans, which is kind of cool. Kind of interesting. I might be totally wrong, but it looks identical to an O2A, just has the diff added to it, which is pretty cool. All right, boys and girls, there we have it. One fully disassembled, well, minus the crank and the pistons, but everything else is off. All the timing chains, all the guides, the oil sender, the trans, the clutch, all the accessories, everything that we need for the new block is off. Well, minus one mount. Other than that, everything is completely off of this thing. There's even more metal, you can see right there, that was falling out as I pulled it apart. So he might want to get a new oil sender, depending on if that one's clean or not. I'll have to check the screen and see if it's like gunked up. It looks pretty clean, so that should be okay. But other than that, we're looking good. All the timing stuff's in here for the covers. That's right there. The rest of the parts are sitting in the barn. And then he has the 2.8 block and head at home. So I'll probably bring him all these accessory parts. That way he can get it all assembled. And when he brings it back, it's just one ready to go VR6. And we slap it on the car. Hopefully it's as easy as that, but you never know. But today went very smooth. We started with a full complete car, and now we have a fully disassembled VR6, and everything's out and ready to go. Very, very cool. I'm kind of curious though. I kind of want to pull the pistons and stuff out. I've never done that before. Not today at least, but maybe later on. He said he might make like a coffee table out of this. Would be really cool. That is it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. I have yet another giant mess to clean up, but worth it because VR6 turbo sound's coming very, very soon. Do not forget, be thankful for every single day. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.